Hello everybody and welcome back to Let's Play Monaco's Solo Pickpocket Edition. If you remember last time we made it all the way through Le Port de la Condamine, and so we are now on the Scorpion and the Frog. And I was just talking a little bit about what I like about the game last time and what I appreciate and you know, the play style and everything like that. So what I like is that there are so many paths you can take through. Okay, this is a new feature. This guy is trying to find us with his searchlight and a helicopter up there. And if you were ever in an area which has a ceiling over it, which honestly can be a little hard to tell at times, then he can find you and highlight you, and that will draw guards to you. If there's no guards in the level, you don't have to worry about it. You also saw me getting hurt by walking over fire there. That's sort of a new thing for this level. I'm going to patch myself up, even though that's not strictly necessary. So again, it seemed like in the beginning of this level, they were almost kind of pushing you towards picking up a gun of some description there. I almost got spotted by him, but fortunately I was able to amble away in time. ABA! Yeah, I just prefer to play a more pacifist run-through. So, the yacht that we were trying to take away has unfortunately exploded, and we are trying to make our precious way out here. You can kind of get a sense of where the ceiling is by looking for, you know, shadows on the ground and such things like that. And obviously you can see that the searchlight doesn't go to those areas. He's not looking for me now, but if he does catch up with me, that'll be nasty news. See, even if you get spotted by a guard, as long as you have some little baffle, some area to follow around like that, you can pretty much lose them in a relatively short order. And again, for getting those hard-to-reach pennies, you really can't beat having Hector. Alright, and I think this will be the last penny. Yeah, thank goodness. Oh, wondered where he got that from, but that was just him taking a little initiative and getting things right off the bat. So this is the first campaign of the several campaigns. You have enough health that you really don't have to worry too much about walking through the fire there. I think he's after me to try to find me. Fortunately, you can run a bit faster than the helicopter can twist this way and that. There are dogs, but as long as you don't get them on your scent in the first place, they're not a huge threat. So, when guards first get that red question mark, it just means they're going to come and check out what's going on. Now here, because I've got my, oh shoot, wasn't quite enough to get him off my tail, but that's fine. That's all the pennies on that level. I've got, obviously, more than enough smoke bombs. And this is one area in which, you know, I could have also blasted them all. I could have got a gun and just done away with them that way. There you see me losing a dog by walking through the vents. So that is a handy trick to keep in mind. It's kind of specific. I don't, you know, they don't really throw dogs at you that often. Go, Hector. And so then the very few times when they do, I think there's always, you know, vents of some description. Actually, there's one level I'm thinking of, which is like the last level of the, at least of the first campaign, I think. Probably the second one too, where there's dogs all over the place. Although they also have, they call it gendarmes, which are a type of guard we haven't seen yet. Those are super nasty. Okay, only 10 pennies left. And they are all gonna be from this safe right here. Yep, all pennies are mine. I'm getting away in this fire engine, and that is the level. Not too bad at all. So now we are going to free the next member of the crew, the second to last member that we are going to meet. Oh, the wrench is just my favorite. The smoke bomb is a pretty good item, but oh boy, the wrench is so nice. Now you can see those little outlet signs all over the place here, and I mentioned earlier that once we get the hacker, who is who we're going to be freeing this time, they can actually, the hacker can use the outlets. Now, obviously we're going to be playing a solo pickpocket, so that's not going to be, you know, hugely important for us to know. But if you have the hacker, then an outlet is just as good as a computer is to anybody else, and that can be extremely handy. I said when I played with Ms. Bundefund, we usually play as Gentleman and Mole, but we've been doing a bit of Hacker and... who am I trying to say? Hacker and... Cleaner, that's right. Which is another fun combo. The Cleaner is obviously very good at handling human security, whereas the Hacker is more of a physical security kind of guy. And being able to handle one of those two is not necessarily a good indication of being able to handle the other. So the Gentleman, for instance, has that regenerating disguise, which is really good for human security. Now these are security protected doors here, and normally that, safes take a long time to hack, and so normally I would have had to have worried about my hack running out while I was hacking the safe away. Fortunately, because I had the wrench, I was able to hack it right away. Now that was amateur hour there, as I got noticed by that laser there. You can see it doesn't explode all of your disguise right away, but it certainly takes away a large portion of it all in one go, and that's something I would just rather not have happen. Keeping your disguises is a bit important. The one thing that I will say is very nice about the Pickpocket is they handle physical security and human security both very well, just by virtue of not really needing to put yourself in harm's way a lot of the time. Both... he almost noticed us there, and he may be coming just this way. No, he's going to go down that way. Those are some of the hardest coins to get down there. Fortunately, we have this available to us. This fuse here. So let's pop it and then run. I think that scientist there is going to go for them. I can just instantly get the... Yeah, there we go. Instantly get the register open. If I had had to spend time cracking that thing, then that might have been too much, and I wouldn't have been able to get it. So a long time ago I was talking about the Gentleman and how good he is with human security, but cameras are not fooled by tuxedos, or any kind of disguises actually. Neither are laser tripwires or anything like that. So when it comes to virtual security and things like that, Gentleman is not really any good or any better than anybody else. The advantage he has there is the real, camera security is only good in that it draws people. Now, there are some cameras later in the game that are literally just hooked up to machine guns and stuff like that, and, he's at a disadvantage for those. But the Gentleman's only real recourse, if it comes to a particularly hard area of camera security, is he just trips the alarm and gets out, before anybody can notice him. But the Pickpocket, because, just by virtue of having this monkey that runs around and does everything, and I forget if I said last time, but Hector is never noticed by anybody. No one will ever see him sneaking around and grabbing coins or anything like that, so we are good from all security, or he is good from all security forever, which obviously makes him quite handy. So, one of the ways you can tell about... Oops, this could be better. This could be more ideal. Actually, you know what? I can get up here. There we go. One of the ways you can tell about the lasers is the ones which are always on tend to be a bit thicker, and in fact are always a bit thicker. The thinner ones are the ones that are only on for a short period of time. Now you see, ooh, peas. I hate when there's a whole bunch of people like this. Well, that's alright. Let's me get through there and all. There is a disguise down there, which I am hoping to get. Is this guy... No. Good. I was hoping he wasn't going to come up this way. So we got to go down here to convince the hack to hit that laser, which is a bit annoying, but that's fine. Grab the disguise, and out we go. No harm, no foul. That is a telephone, which, if it goes off, it attracts people to it. Shoot. I wish that camera was still working. Oh, well, that's fine. I can activate this computer, get through here, and all I need is for this to go off Yet another place where the wrench comes in extremely handy. One thing that it's nice to know for little mental calculations or whatever is that a safe is always worth 10 pennies, and it's 10 pennies for an item, and so if you have to expend an item to get a safe, you will completely make back up your item usage. At least in these early levels, I won't say they throw pennies and stuff at you, but you're not really going to be hurting. You can see on our way out here, there are just outlets all over the place, and so this place has a lot of camera-type security, and so this would absolutely be just the hacker's playground. I think, in order to get into that alarm door here, I'm going to go back down and rehack one of these computers. You can see because I'm very far away from that scientist, he technically had some line of sight on me, but my disguise deteriorated very slowly, which is obviously great for me. Okay, and there's a computer on this side, so I can always use that to get back out. This is sort of a big spread out level, so it can be a bit hard to find all the pennies, but I seem to have managed it all right there. And again, he is criminally insane and locked up here. It's a bit of a plot twist when you're playing this the first time, because the gentleman makes it seem as though you were going to get some kind of medical help, because all of you were injured after that unfortunate yacht explosion. The basic idea behind the plot is easy enough to figure out if you understand the story of the scorpion and the frog at all. The idea being that the scorpion is unable to change his nature, even when it would almost kind of be a benefit of him to not be that way. And in a likewise way, you and certainly the gentleman probably even a bit more so than you, is just incorrigibly criminal and is unable to restrain himself, basically, from stealing at all times. And so you can kind of get the sense that the gentleman probably doesn't have your best interests at heart. However, you are going along with his plans because of your own criminal nature. The plot is not the main selling point for this game. It's fine. There's nothing wrong with the plot, certainly. It's a competent, heisty kind of thing. Let's see. I hate to burn. Oh, I only have to burn one because I can hack a computer while I'm in here. That's fine. And although my disguise is almost out, there's another one. Ooh, and I can stop the camera from finding me. Beautiful. That went better than I even thought it was going to. It's sort of like a Usual Suspects, crime movie kind of thing. You can kind of get the major beats if you're familiar with the way that those things go. So in here we've got criminals. We saw them a bit in some of the earlier levels, but not a whole lot since them. And their deal is they don't obviously care about us, and they're not going to tip the guards off to our presence because they themselves are also criminals. So if they see us, that is just fine. Okay, I can see the hacker in there. As before, I'm going to basically try to get all pennies before changing into another character to keep up my all pickpocket run. But I'll try to show off just a little bit of the hacking, just to make things hit home for what life is like as the hacker. Pennies, again, are sometimes randomly placed, and so there may be some money back here, which we can get a hold of. There we go. I maybe should have saved that from when I turned into the hacker, but that's fine. Let's see. What do we got? 2 pennies left, and I think, yeah, those are both up there. So we are good to go. Never mind me. You wouldn't stop a man in a tuxedo for security clearance, would you? Of course not. Okay. This isn't exactly a laser maze that we've got going here. They'll be much worse later in the game, but that's neither here nor there. Actually, look at this. I'm stuck disabling cameras altogether, and hopefully I can get through by the time... Yeah, again, these things don't stay hacked for long. So, here's the hacker. He's fine. He can hack outlets. He can hack things very quickly. The piano music just goes insane. The music is a real highlight of this game for me, if only because they really know how to get that jangly piano going and give you a sense of excitement and tension and things like that. So we had to duck around and do all kinds of nonsense when we were a non-hacker character, but because we are the hacker now, we've basically got all the security on our side. Is he going this way? Don't be a jerk, guy. And because we have all pennies, all that we really need to do is go to the helicopter launching pad. Now let me show you the last thing that you can do with a wrench. I won't show it off. I'll be a non-violent guy. You can kill a guard with a wrench. You just bash him over the head with it is the idea. And he turns into a skeleton, as I said before. Oh, it doesn't hurt anything to show. So, pop. It makes a noise, so if there's anybody else around, they notice it. Did he just disappear? Did I hit him off the side or something? Or was this... No, this is him. So you can see he's a skeleton now. He's a skeleton forever. Because there's nobody around to save him. If anybody was around, they could pile the meat back on his bones, and that would be that. Goodness only knows why they give you a fuse here. I guess the idea is you're supposed to figure out that that would make noise and attract the guard, but if you just hack the outlets, there's no worries about that or anything like that. So let's move on to Securitech. I'm not sure, but my guess is they're probably going to make this so that it would be very nice to have the hacker around, just so that you can sort of try off your new character, but stuff that, or a man with a monkey. Yeah, look at that, they're giving you outlets right off the bat. The hacker is someone that you are very dependent on the level designer to make useful. If there isn't a lot of physical security, and if there aren't outlets and stuff like that, oh hey, then he's really no different than any other character, and in fact he's a little worse because that's, all of his special abilities have to deal with hacking. However, if the level designers are diligent, and there's a lot for him to do, so I'm just trying to get around everything before I set off the cameras here. You really don't need to alert the guards at all. I got one of the other extremely powerful items, which is the EMP. It disables all electronic security on the level for a short time, which is great for some obvious reasons. That penny down there might have been a little bit harder to get without our friend Hector. There we go. He really just makes everything so much easier. Again, as I said, the... Now I could... I may need to end up, incidentally, using an EMP to get out of this. I'm not exactly sure, but I think... Yeah, I can just barely get out of the way. That's fine. There's all pennies from the underground. They really give you a lot of chances and a lot of leeway and a lot of space in these early levels. They're really not so bad. So here you can see that things can be kind of tricky trying to find a place to hack. I'm not sure if this is going to work, actually. Oh, I guess that'll work. I'm going to give that another try. I feel silly for feeling nervous. Yeah, there we go. Oh, I probably could have just gone down here and hacked one of these two. Oh well. Anyway, yeah, as you can see, there's definitely a lot of mechanical camera type security down here. So this is a level where they're wanting you to use the hacker, but whatever. There are a couple things that you can only do with hacks that I don't know if we see until a lot later, but there are actually like virtual money, which I think is supposed to represent important information. That's a neat concept, and you can only get that by having a hack be over it for a short period of time, and you'll get that usual, completion bar that goes off, and then after a certain while it disappears and you get it. The same with trophies. Excuse me, sir. Tuxedo coming through. Disguises are just so powerful. If you can get your hands on one of those, you are really made in the shade for a lot. Whew, that was close. That thing had almost tumbled to me there. Ah, I shouldn't have stepped away. That was my own dumb fault. Anyway, pop the EMP there so you can see what that's like, and I popped two because of my cowardice. I wasn't able to fully take advantage of that one there. So there's, again, an enormous amount of camera security there, but man, I'm impressed I did that. You can see a lot of these doors have the dotted lines in them, and that's there to indicate that if security does get set off through any means, that that is where the doors will lock at that point. And so if you set off security, it just becomes much, much harder to do a little getaway. Now, this is David, who is a commonly showing up antagonist. The one nice thing about camera security and the like is that it doesn't decrease your disguise at all. There we go. And of course, it's utterly predictable, unlike people who are not unpredictable, but can be a little bit harder to figure out what they're doing all the time. Okay, let's wait for this guy to go out and come back in there. Yep. Head on up. If you have two players, one of the really handy things you can do is, if one of you hacks a door, then you can hold it for the other one. The same with ladders and the like. If you position yourself right on a ladder, then you can sort of hold it open for anybody else. Same with stairways, anything like that. Plants, that works too. This game is totally possible to be done solo, as I'm doing, but it's really, I think, meant for a... ooh, this is hard, but I think I'm going to go for the wrench. Wrench is just absolutely my favorite item. It's just useful for so many different things. Let's see if we can get an example of that here real quick. Oops. Excuse me. There we go. We kind of got away there. Not exactly. He smacked us one good one, but that wasn't too bad. And now we can get these line-of-sight breaking walls between us and him. Maybe it would have been better to get the EMP. I kind of don't think so. Excuse me. These big old twisty corridors are great because it doesn't take a whole lot of effort to lose guards in them. This is the kind of thing that they're not going to give you very much of later on. Now this is going to be hard to get because you have to like push him to get it, but by the time he notices you, you're in a suit, and so he just, I guess, figures, oh, I guess if he's putting on a guard suit, he must be a guard that forgot his uniform. Again, not always the, what you would call, sharpest knives in the drawer, these guards, but I guess they don't hire him because of competency. It's more of a cost-saving measure. Which, that's fine, who am I to complain? Fortunately, there was a computer handy for this little hack in here. And, oh, there's a spare costume to make up for the one that I just about got exploded getting into here. Now, my guess is that over there on the other side, there's going to be the most camera-style security we've seen yet, so I'm going to be, to whatever extent is possible, getting my bad self over there and cleaning up while the cleaning up is good. So there's file security. Yep, and you can see they've turned back on the power. So whatever... And look at all those lasers. And because I was able to do that while all of the lasers were down, I got in and got all those pennies and trophies right away. I think because the music went nuts, I think that indicates that I got all of the trophies for the level, which is nice. Oh, what went off? Did I hit a laser or something? I didn't even see that. Oh, that's fine. And if somebody does corner me, as I've mentioned before, I have a wrench to my name. Oh, thank you, Hack. That was unbelievably expeditious. And there we go. Oh, and here's another one right over here. That's handy. Excuse me, sir. Okay, so the scientists shoot tranq darts, which we are seeing now. I think I got away from him here. What do we have? 3 pennies left? I see all 3 of them. And the... well, there's one of those cameras attached to the guns that I was mentioning before. So we broke a little line of sight there, and we're able to get in one of the bushes. To be honest, this the end part of this level isn't quite going as I would have liked it to. Now, hopefully he's had enough of us and is just going to patrol down there. That's good. And fortunately enough, we have a health pack right here. Man. Oh well. the game can kind of drag out a little bit. It's not too bad to play, but I'm sorry you have to watch me just run back and forth trying to get that dumb old health. I'm not even a quarter down. Yeah, you forget how good life is when people don't have guns. When the guards have guns, if they get hip to your presence, then it's a much worse scenario for you.
Est-ce que c'est que Bon, ce n'est rien.
And you can see he had a line of sight on me there, so he was able to see me going into the bushes. Alright, we've got all the pennies. And I'm just basically booking it. Oh man, look at that. A single thing of health left. Well, that went bad in a bad way. I got super careless at the end of the level there, but all's well that ends well. It's an old thief phrase. But you saw how unbelievably more damaging the guns were than the guards that just punch at you, hit you with their flashlights or whatever. I mean, don't get me wrong, they're dangerous too. If he's gonna come up here, I need to be ready to make my escape, but that's not to say he's going to for sure, so that's fine. We can see that we can get away in the car down here. That little running away symbol is the international sign for getting away, I guess. And fortunately, because we have a wrench, we just pop right in and we're out. Alright, let's progress. We'll do one or two more levels this update, and we'll handle the Oceanographic Museum, which has a pretty cool basement, to be honest with you. This is a nice little natural setup. I mean, I guess it's built right on the ocean, and it's got all these neat caves. I would like a museum that was like that. It's also very twisty and turny down here. Now we see, I believe, first MIBs. These guys are super nasty, and we are going to want to stay on their good side, which means away from them for sure, because they have machine guns. And it's not like if they hit you at all, they hit you with the full burst. They just shoot a whole burst of guns, or a whole burst of bullets at you. And if they hit you with their full clip, that's an enormous amount of your health. Fortunately, there was so much of those line of sight breaking walls there that we were able to get out of those tunnels without too much damage being done. Excuse me, gentlemen. Thought there was like a secret passage or something around here. Maybe not. Maybe. Oh, maybe I'm thinking of this over here. See if we can work our way in secretly in here. And I've got a smoke bomb, but I do think I'm going to exchange it for a wrench. I just like wrenches so much. All right, let's set off this and then see if we can make our escape out of here. Excuse me. Boy, he almost caught me, and that would have been a bit nasty. Oh, man. Kind of got stuck on the geometry there. Oh well. That got me away from him. I could be doing better. I think I'm kind of losing things a bit on these last two levels here. Although that could also be a symptom, as they say, of the levels getting to be a bit harder. This is one place, incidentally, where having multiple players would be extremely useful. Alright, she's off to get a guard, but by the time she gets anybody, I can be long gone out of there. Now, there are 10 pennies in this thing as well. I don't see where there's a computer handy just anywhere directly around. This is another place where the hacker would come in real handy. But I'm not going to feel bad about using a wrench. Wrench is another benefit to the wrench is it bypasses any alarms or any security like that. So if you have an alarmed door or an alarmed safe, you can just instantly open them. I mean, the deal with a wrench is it just instantly finishes one action. And I think it used to also deal with bandaging yourself, you know, from health kits and the like, but I think they took that out. And I wonder if that wasn't because that's kind of the cleaner's secondary specialty. You know, everybody has a primary and a secondary specialty, and his secondary specialty is he bandages himself very quickly, so maybe they felt like, you know, that was sort of impinging on his territory. I don't know. But I mean, it also unlocks doors instantly, and that's like the locksmith's primary thing, so I would think they should be more worried about it, you know, edging in on his turf, but whatever. At least I could have sworn that a long time ago it worked for absolutely everything, whereas now that's sort of the one notable a blind spot, I don't know if you'd say, but thing that it doesn't work. It doesn't. Oh, it doesn't revive your compatriots quicker either, and that's the that's sort of the redhead's. I think that's her deal, is that she very quickly can revive people. Sometimes, depending on where your partner gets killed, it can be unbelievably annoying. If they get killed right in the middle of a bunch of security or something like that, it's a bad news. And a wrench isn't good there, but a bandage will cure them instantly in that case. So that's what you want to keep your eyes out for there. Alright, now, we got two reasons to use the old wrench there. One of them being we didn't want to set off the alarm, and the other being, what with those sweeping lasers, we just needed to get in and out ASAP. You can see that there's a lot of potentially really tricky pennies in this area. And as, you know, I bring up time and time again, it's just real nice to only have to get vaguely near what you're trying to steal. Having good old Hector around for that. I don't know if I can get away. Yeah, I couldn't quite get away from that one. Should have planned that a bit better, I think. But thankfully, and I do actually mean thankfully in this case, it was only hooked up to a submachine gun, which plugged me full of holes, which I would honestly prefer instead of having a big alarm that attracted a lot of the guards, because the MIBs in this area also have submachine guns. And so it's like you either get one submachine gun and no alarm, or potentially many submachine guns and alarms to go along with that as well. But you can see one blast from the thing took off nearly half my health, whereas a whole bunch of punching guards only took out a quarter in the last level. So let's get that old top secret storage and then book our bad selves out of here. So the levels aren't what I would call like a joke at this point anymore. In the early levels, it was kind of like, you know, if you died to those early levels, you were either just learning the game or, you know, something was seriously wrong. Okay, there goes all the security, and they're going to get it back up basically instantly. So it's good to be getting yourself out of there as soon as you can, and getting all the pennies from the center of the room as soon as you can. And there we go. We have all of the money and all of the trophies. And I'm debating whether it would be better to get a smoke bomb at this point. In fact, I think I will, because I can't think of anything we're going to have to do. I hope I don't regret that, like we have to open an alarmed door somewhere or something. But I think it will always basically be better for us at this point to be able to just disappear for a second. You can see that those MIBs, their question marks just fill up so quickly. But hey, compared to the last level, this went by fairly without incident. I say before I'm out. Notice the shark with laser. That's a reference. I also like that they have the Kraken. The environments are you know, a real selling point in this game. Just all the design is super well done. It's just, as I said, fun to play. Excuse me, buddy. You can see based on the light there that there's going to be an alarm. Never mind me, just a smoke bomb. Ooh, now the Discotheque Rouge. This one, we are going to get the final member of our team, and so that'll be good. Again, they kind of want you to get a gun, but I'm going to go with the non-violent option. Pickpocketing those people can be annoying, but not if you've got a monkey. Alright, we grabbed a key there. Keys open key doors, as you might expect, and they open them very quickly, and that's also the only way to open those. The locksmith can do nothing for key doors or anything like that, as far as I know. I'm never the locksmith, just because he's such a sort of a one-trick pony. Can you get both those, Hector? Boop, boop, boop. Can you... Nope. Excuse me. I should have done something differently, and I regret that. I'm gonna wait until I get a, Get stuffed. Oh, hey, now that he's gone. Time to get this penny. Somebody will be along to revive him, I have no doubt. But, for now, we saw that a little wrenching isn't always a bad thing. Better to be wrenched than drenched in blood. I don't know. I was trying to go for a rhyme there. I would say it half worked out. And excuse me, sir. Please don't look to your immediate left. I'm just going to be doing some things there. Okay. So I need another key, and here comes a key now. Where are you going, buddy? Excuse me.
Qui va là?
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Quelqu'un ici?
Allez, vivons, c'est rien à faire ici.
There we go. Got to run back to a baffle back here. Might as well take this point to heal up. You never know when you're going to need it in these levels. So, you saw that guy turned into a skeleton, and as I mentioned before, he's probably revived by now, but any guard that comes along and sees him can revive him. I got that key for an excellent reason, because I really want to get into that coat check. As you might guess, things are logical, at least a bit, in this game. I mean, you know, it obviously works on its own sort of bizarro logic sometimes, but sure enough, there are a lot of coats in the coat check room, and boy is that what we need right now. We're going to open with one. Get this with another. Man, why did that penny go down there? Well, obviously it would have been more annoying yet if we didn't have Hector and a bunch of coats here. Anyway, I was saying, skeleton guards, you know, can be revived, as I've mentioned before. The only real way to permanently deal with somebody, whew, that is so hard to get. You probably could distract him away and get it, you know, more easily that way or something like that. But, that's not my way. Okay. Excuse me, excuse me. The only way to permanently deal with guards is if you can get an item TNT that you can get later. And that does this enormous explosion. And go Hector. Also, oh heck, how did she see me? I find that hard to believe. Is there a guard coming up here, though? There will be. There we go. Excuse me. Just kind of jig around him there. Get myself hidden back again. I probably just need to do a little sneak by the dance floor so that Hector can go out there and get all those pennies. Excuse me, gentlemen. This is all but impossible unless you realize the power of ambling. If I was running everywhere, I would be getting spotted basically every time. And then guards would come after me, I'd have to do the little, you know, run away and find a little baffle thing. And so if you don't recognize the power of walking slowly, then this game is going to be all but undoable, I think. There we go. Oh, bless you. Bless you, Hector. You complete me. They don't really give you a whole lot of backstory for the thieves, which is to say they give you a couple options that you can pick from. It's kind of Joker-like in that respect. What do we got? A single penny? There it is. Alright, let's handle the underground dance party before we go upstairs. This is one of those trendy Monaco nightclub type deals. So you don't necessarily want the lights being focused on you for obvious reasons. Now, the only thing that's going to be a real hassle in here, you can maybe see already, which is that there is a safe in that center area there. That's not where we want to have to be going. And yet, that is exactly where we are going to have to go. So I think we're just going to try to do this in one big rush. Excuse me. Ah, come on! Oh, I killed him instead of opening the safe. It was a huge mistake, and I may not recover from it. Whew, I should have used a wrench to get up those stairs. You can wrench yourself upstairs. No, I don't quite understand it myself, but that's the way it is. And if you can get yourself to a set of stairs, you can hide in them, as you can see like this, and let everybody else pass you by. Now, that has gone much better in ages past, but, you know, that's the way of things. In Monaco, you gotta improvise and you gotta roll with things. Not sure if anybody can see me here, but I need this health. One health pack like this completely revives you, which is obviously super handy. And I think if I can just, this is a, you know, far be it from me to critique a dance floor. I'm not much of a dancer, but I'm seeing a few people kind of shaking around a little bit. I guess this is like a rich, you know, resort kind of place, and there we go. Look at that. All I had to do was get almost murdered for it. with a lot of things in this game, if you find yourself having trouble, then the solution is probably just to have a little bit more patience and to take things a little more slowly. Where are you going? You're going up here.
Je pense que ça devait être un chat.
Alright, let's get out of your way. I'm trying to avoid a little bit of that as much as possible in the interests of keeping this casual casual let's play watchable and fun and everything like that. But generally, you don't want to be rushed. The one thing I do like is it is entirely possible to have everybody mad at you, everybody running after you. The little jangly piano just starts going insane, and you can get away. You know, if you can just get around one corner, find yourself in a potted plant or whatever, and wait for everything to recover. You know, they punish you being discovered. They punish you for being incautious, but it's not the end of the world. You know, you can recover and move on, and I really appreciate that. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get this in time. Whew. I could have just ducked around it anyway, but where's the fun to be had there, huh? So these curtains are extremely useful. Those are really a thief's best friend because they help you get away from people and obviously don't ever require any time to pick or anything like that. There's not necessarily anything up here, but there can always be randomly placed pennies and things like that. And what I'd really like is for that man with the key to come around here so that I could swipe it. Ooh, oh, for crying out loud. Just a little bit too incautious there. Go, Hector. Hector, you made that not a waste of time for me, and I just want you to know that I appreciate that. Okay, there we go. Now we need a key. We absolutely need a key to get into that area right there. Oh, I should have gone then. I don't know what I was thinking. And I can see both keys up here now. Here comes one of them right now. And I can swipe the key. Again, Hector can steal single pennies, but he can't swipe keys off of people. So we are going to be, shortly, getting the very last member of our little crew. You can see areas where the hacker would be of help up here. As it is, I'm just going to have to, I think, use a wrench to get... I got 2 wrenches to burn. I don't see why I couldn't do that. Actually, I only have to use 1 wrench, because I'll... oh, I won't have to use any wrenches at all, because now I have both keys. Actually, I might as well use 1 wrench, because I'd rather not just go the long way around here. Unless it doesn't matter. I think it doesn't matter, I guess. Through we go. Yeah, the last member of our crew is, as was mentioned, the redhead. Oops. Well, fortunately, I had enough to get me up here and sort of out of sight. There's 21 pennies left. Kind of makes me wonder if there's something worth looking at up here. Ah, thank goodness for that disguise. Whew. Can be a little hairy getting around here. I don't know what he's concerned about. Oh, he just must be worried from earlier or something like that. Ah, darn, I didn't see those pennies over on the left there. Well, again, I'm going to be trying to get everything with the pickpocket to maintain my 100% pickpocket run. But that's fine, that's fine. Again, I've got wrenches to burn, so I can get in and get out of there. What do we got, 13 pennies? Yeah, that's just a safe and a cash register, probably. I mean, I'm obviously not hurting for wrenches, so... if a thing needs wrenched, I'll wrench it. Oh, for crimini's sake. Oh well. Alright, that's all pennies. And... I'm out of sight. Okay. Time for me to show off the redhead. This is the one that I understand the least. I'm sure she's very good, I just don't use her well. The redhead's deal is, the first one person to find her and get mad at her, like this guy will, instead of getting angry, becomes charmed. And he will now follow us around and will open doors for us and do stuff like that. It seems like this would be an incredibly powerful ability. If a second person sees us, then they'll be mad at us, and gender doesn't matter or anything like that. Men and women will become charmed just as well. So you can see the power here. This guy is opening up all these alarm doors for us and stuff like that. As I say, a second person will not become charmed. They will recognize us, I guess, for the crooks we are, and come after us that way. And so her benefit is, you know, I mean, obviously she gets one free get-out-of-jail card when it comes to enemies, and she can bypass a lot of security. See, so now this guy is our Huckleberry. I'm just not that good with him. Or with her, that is to say. I just feel like I always run into 2 guards or something like that. You can tell whether she's able to charm people by whether her heart icon is over somebody else or over her own head. Is there only 1 guard out there? I could probably just escape. Well, I'll just go around this way, that's fine. I should get an escort for when we leave. Who's a guy? Yeah, the MIB. Boy, I hope he gets charmed. Yeah, there we go. He'll be our escort when we get out of here. I mean, I'm sure she's fine. I just don't use her well. Anyway, that is the redhead. And that is the last member of our little group. And that takes us to the Quartier Diamant. And let's see, we did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 the first time. And we did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, we only did 4? 1, 2, 3, 4. What do you say we do? No, we did 5. That's fine. Yeah, and so we'll try to tackle 5 the next time, I guess. I'm gonna do the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. Oh no, because the epilogue doesn't really count, so there's only 5 to go for the next one. So this will be a fine 3-part thing for the first storyline there. So I thank you for joining me. I hope you have appreciated this foray into pickpocketing only. I hope that it was a good time. I don't know. Those are all the things I need to say, and I will see you guys next time. So until then, ABA, my friends.